Hey, in slavery,
Free
if,
labor.
if you did good one day on that cotton, but then the next day you was a pound short, they'll shorten your pay, or they'll whoop you. So we're gonna do the same thing to y'all. Scrap for your little pennies. You better bring some good stuff in on get your pennies, okay? Because if you bring in less than before, you ain't getting your pennies. Go back to
This is Romans 9, going back to Romans 9, verse, right, 22. What if Yahweh willing to show his wrath and to take his power known endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction, and that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy which he had afore prepared unto glory, even us whom he hath called not of the Jews only, but also of the Gentiles.
So here we go.
As he saith also in OC, or Hosea, I will call them my people which were not my people, and her beloved which was not beloved. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall they be called the children of the living power.
And that's talking about those Gentiles that he was talking about. Because when you're being called a Gentile, that means you're not being called who you are, your actual nationality. So what the Lord say in the book of Hosea, he's talking about the nation of Israel. It says, in the place of the land where it's up, he said, you're not my people, aka Gentiles, black, African, Puerto Rican, Cuban, Argentinian, Mexican, Jamaican, Haitian. I said Puerto Rican. You should say Dominican, Panamanian, so forth and so on. That you're gonna be called who you are, because those really Gentiles, that women. So how can you not see that everything residing into Romans chapter 9 is talking about Israelites, man? It's saying to the Israelites, but then as soon as we forgot who we were, we became Gentiles. He said, what? In the land of the place where it's called that ye are not my people, there ye shall be called pretty much Yasha'al. Yasha'al Hebrew, the word Israel, which means he is a son or prince of God, Yahweh.
Which, if I may add, bring me to that word Hellen, Hellenize, just like a lot of our people are here in this place. They'll say, oh, I'm American and I'm this. Well, it was the same way then. Our people were in Greece and in Rome, but that wasn't who they were, man. That wasn't their identity, their true identity. That was just a place they was living in, and they adopted the vain customs of those places.
The Apocrypha proves it. You said you had a definition. Korea,
Romans 1 and 16, and it reads, For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Mashiach, for it is the power of the Most High to salvation, to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek. For therein is the righteousness of the Most High revealed from faith to faith.
Read that again.
This is Romans 1 and 16. It says, I am not ashamed of the gospel of Mashiach, for it is the power of the Most High unto salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek.
Now you'll say, oh, you see, but if you look at that word Greek in the New Testament, is Helen.
Right.
We broke down what that word means. You got it.
Yeah. Hellenization. Hellenism is the historical spread of ancient Greek culture, religion, and to a lesser extent language over foreign people conquered by the Greeks or brought into their sphere of influence, particularly during the Hellenistic period following the campaigns. This China, they put a lot of different meanings, but basically,
Read that again.
Hellenism is a historical spread of ancient Greek culture, religion, and
See, culture, religion. That's gonna say language.
Yep.
Okay.
And to a lesser extent language over foreign people conquered by Greeks.
Foreign people conquered by Greeks, meaning people who aren't Greeks. You see, that definition is even in the blue letter, because it's also mentioned in Acts chapter 6, right, where it says in how to word it, and an actual letter I can look it up, but those were talking about Israelites who were Hellenized, became Greeks, as we read. Hellen means the culture, the language, and the customs, which were given to what? Foreign people conquered by Greeks, meaning they were conquered, then they learned their languages and their ideology. That's how we became Gentiles.
Had that. Yeah. It's out of the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Hellenists. It says Jews who made Greek their tongue, and of with it often adopted Greek ideas and practices. Like you said, Acts the 6th chapter, Acts 6 and 1. And you had, it's another precept, Acts 9 and 29.
So it said what? Jews who made Greek their tongue. I want to ask you how you did it. Right, so you got to go in the words and look it up. Like the woman that was up here said, you got to go into the words. You see, you guys want to just say the word Gentile and see salvation and be like, oh, that's all the evidence I need. But if you go to the actual word there, you will see that they have different meanings, you idiot. Just like in the New Testament, you got 3 versions of the word world. But if you go to the actual Greek text, there's 3 different words. Like I said, there's 3 different versions. But when it's translated, it's translated to the word world. And if you break it down to them, it's easy to understand. They just don't want to understand. They just want to say, nope, it says world. But like I said, you got 3 versions. You got oikoumene, eon, and cosmos, right? Just like we use the term all the time. You see somebody walk down the street, tap dancing and stuff, listen to music, you say, oh, he in his own world. If you used to go to Chinatown over there in China, you enter into a whole nother world. You got animal world, you got the blind people world, the deaf people world, everything's different in different world. And if I say that to you, you'll understand what I mean. It's the same thing in the New Testament. The words was just translated to the word world, but you got to go to the word to see what word is talking about. World is talking about. You got the whole world. You got the current time period, right? And then you got whole world, real time period,
Specific group.
and you got a specific sect, specific group of people. You got the Israelite world, and you got the Edomite world, you got the Ishmaelite world, you got the Moabite world.
Orderly arrangement.
And Hebrews 1 tells you whom the Most High made the world so. So what that's talking about? Is there more than one physical earth? Or is it talking about, time frames and peoples and customs and stuff? You see? You gotta look up the words, man. You got that.
Second Maccabees 6.
Chapter 6 started.
This is 2 Maccabees 6 and 1. It says, not long after this, the king sent an old man of Athens to compel the Jews to depart from the laws of their fathers.
Keep these words in mind. Athens.
And not to live after the laws of the Most High. And to pollute the temple in Jerusalem. And to call it in the temple of Jupiter Olympus. And that in Gerizim of Jupiter, the defender of strangers.
So they pushed the Israelites to learn what? Worship the gods of the Greeks, like Jupiter. Right? Go ahead.
It said, the defender of strangers. And as they did desire that dwelt in the place, the coming in of this mistress was sore and grievous to the people. For the temple was filled with riot, and prevailing by the Gentiles who dallied with harlots and has to do with women within the circuit of the holy places. And besides that, brought in things that were not lawful. The altar also was filled with profane things, which the law forbiddeth. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew.
So you see, it was laws saying that you couldn't profess yourself to be a Jew, an Israelite. And we're talking about what? Athens, right? Mind you, this is before the Messiah. So, now go to the book of Acts, chapter 17, verse 15. Because when you get to the book of Acts, right, did he not have the hardest time at work, Athens? And did it not say that he said they were very superstitious. They had all kind of statues up, talking about some unknown guy, great goddess Diana, all that stuff. And if you know the history, that's why they had to take the Apocrypha out. You would see why they would say that. Because when the Israelites got ran over, they defiled our temple. They put harlots in there. They were offering abominable flesh. They put up gods called Jupiter and other gods, right? And this was in Athens. So it's not hard to understand that at the process of time, you're going to have Israelites that's going to grow up believing those Greek ideologies. They become Hellenized, right? That's why the Messiah had to come. And that's why the Lord said, I have come to save that which is lost. So you got to know history. Like the apostles always say, you have to know history. Go ahead.
It's Acts 17 and 15. And they that conducted Paul brought him unto Athens, and receiving a commandment unto Silas and Timotheus for to come to him with all speed, they departed. And while Paul waited for them at Athens, his spirit was stirred in him, and he saw the city wholly given to idolatry. Therefore disputed he in the synagogue with the Jews and with the devout persons, and in the market daily with them that met with him. There are certain philosophers of the Epicureans of the Stoics encountered him, and some said, what will this babbler say? Others some. He seemed to be a setter forth of strange gods, because he preached unto them Yahushua and the resurrection. And they took him and brought him unto Areopagus, saying, may we know what this new doctrine whereof thou speakest is? For thou bringest certain strange things to our ears. We would know therefore what these things mean.
You see, those were Israelites, but they were so gone and Hellenized. He came and told them the truth about Yahushua, Yahweh. They were like, interesting. He got some strange guys. We would love to hear what you got to say. You know? Because, like I said, that's in Athens. And that's why it's mentioned the kind of hell our people went through in Athens. And you saw it said it was forbidden in the law for any man to profess that he was a Jew. So after the process of time, man, you're talking about hundreds of years, of course people are going to grow up and think and believe in those gods, Israelites. Right. So when they got told the truth, they was like, what the hell is that? What are you talking about? Resurrection? Ooh. You know, I never heard of that before. That's why that so-called Great Commission went out. It was the Israelites amongst the Gentiles, believing in the Gentiles, Hellenized Jews. So look at that.
It says, verse 21, Acts 17 and 21. For all the Athenians and strangers which were there spent their time in nothing else but either to tell or to hear some new thing.
You know what that remind me of? The black conscious community. All day they just talking about nothing. Just like back then, man. All day they just wanted to hear something new. What you got to come up with? We talking about some sticks that you can put a guide up. Ooh, this guy talking about another planet that they gonna come. You know, this guy talking about the rapture. This guy talking about how the sun gonna blow up. They love to just talk a bunch of folly. That's that black conscious community, right? They bringing out the Egyptian books of the dead. They talking about the sun, right? You hear all kind of madness when you hear them talk. Understand? They talking about they are the earth.
You are God. You are the universe.
They said the devil was the good guy. Some of them said the devil was the good guy in the Bible.
There it is.
Wow.
That's what young Pseudo said. Young Pharaoh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You got the black woman as guide doctrine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The queens and stuff like that. You hear all kind of madness dealing with that group. Okay? That's the same thing, man. Keep going.
Verse 22 says, Then Paul stood in the midst of Mars Hill.
See, they had a place called Mars. You see, you guys don't know. Like we tell you, the name of these planets go back to Greek and other nation gods.
Like devils food.
If you can look up the origins of every planet. It goes back to some type of Greek or Roman god. Guaranteed. Look up every planet name.
Yeah, Saturn. I I read earlier Jupiter. That was an actual man that they worship. Yeah, idolized. But it was spelled with an E though, Jupiter, instead of with a quote unquote J.
So Jupiter goes back to the word Saturn, or what god is that?
You'd have to look it up.
There's so many.
I forgot. I did it in the past, but I forgot. It's irrelevant.
Yeah, because I remember every weekday is named after a Greek god.
Yeah, every weekday it goes back to some type of probably Roman Greek god or something like that.
And the months.
Yeah.
October, December, April. August, July.
Yep, every day has something. You know?
July goes into Julius Caesar.
I think August go into Augustus. Yeah.
I just remember Sunday was like the sun worship thing. Stuff like that.
And a lot of it is mixed with Egypt too. Because you had the Hamites that was worshiping the sun. Monday goes for moon day.
And see, there was
Sunday, moon day.
Monday, Tuesday,